Is it possible that Tac Rento is somehow connected to the supervisor? Now, I'm going to say this at the front. This is kind of a wild theory, just more for fun. I don't actually think that this is going to be the case, but there is a line of thinking that makes this possible if we take a look at all of the facts we know based on the first 5 episodes of Skeleton Crew. In the latest episode, we get information from SM33, from Jod, and from Tac himself. So here's what we know. We know that SM33 has already told us that Tac did not want other people finding the coordinates to At-Aten, and so he was the one that was told to get rid of the coordinates when they were on Akron. As a result, many of the crew who were there were also killed at the hands of SM33. This building up an understanding that Tac Rento really wanted to keep this secret, even going so far to order SM33 to stop others from trying to get to At-Aten as well. And SM33 tells us that they crash landed onto At-Aten after the captain had been killed by being betrayed by his concubine, stabbed with his own knife. We also learn from Jod that the ship that they're on is the Onyx Cinder, that Captain Tac Rento is a legendary pirate who has quite a storied past, and apparently, as the legend goes, somehow he disappeared with the ship and crew all on At-Aten. And then Tac himself gives us the confirmation we've kind of thought all along, and that is that At-Aten is an old Republic mint. So to some degree, it kind of is the place of eternal treasure. And this isn't just for one world. This is for the entire galaxy. Think of how much money that actually is. But when you look at all of this, there's a number of holes in this story that I think make room for some theories. Now, yes, the straightforward answer is usually the right one, so these theories are probably not going to pan out, but that doesn't mean it's not fun to think about. When I say holes, I'm not talking about plot holes. I'm just saying things that make room for questions, like why was SM33 guarding the door with his hand on the lever to kind of make sure no one could get out when they first found the fallen ship? Or why does SM33 start by walking around looking for his captain and then believing the story that Fern had about she sliced him open and his guts were everywhere and whole kind of thing, if he actually knows what happened to the captain? Why do we not actually see Tac Rento's face on the hologram? It feels completely purposeful. And I think there's some other gaps that we can point to, but it's these gaps specifically that make room for a theory that has Tac Rento connected to the supervisor. I don't think we can make the case that he is the supervisor himself unless he is the type of alien who has a much longer lifespan than we would normally think, which is possible. So it's not impossible, but that would just be an extra thing added on. I'm going to put that to the side for a second, and we're just going to talk about how is it possible, what line of thinking, what could the story have been behind the scenes to get to us to a place where Tac Rento is actually in cahoots or working with or in control of the supervisor. We're on Akron, where Tac, SM, and the rest of the crew find the coordinates to At-Aten in the Fallen Sanctum. Some of the crew is killed to keep the secret, while others are still on the ship, and so they survive. Tac and SM return to the Onyx Cinder and plot a course home to Skull Mountain, where a plan will be devised for Tac to get his treasure and rid himself of this mutinous crew. While that is happening, the crew itself is planning to take over, realizing their captain has gone mad with greed, all centered around At-Aten. Tac knows the only way is to make everyone think he is gone for good, so he decides to use the trip to At-Aten as the means for this plan, using SM33 to take out the crew, wiping his memory and replacing it with a new story covering his tracks. But before the captain could finish his plan, a fight breaks out. SM33 rushes back to help, and the Onyx Cinder crashes onto the surface of At-Aten. The captain survives the crash with SM-33's help and goes to take his riches, commanding 33 to remain guarding the ship with this new story. Once at the supervisor's tower, Tac finds out it's all just a droid running everything, so he uses his cunning to override and take control. Now, maybe somehow this is what's happened. I actually, again, don't really believe this theory. I think it's just interesting to think about. Tell me your theories down below. What is Tac Rent's role in all of this? Is he just that shiny thing for episode 5 that got Jod super excited to get us to Skull Mountain? Or is there something more going on? Give me your best Tac Rent theories down in the comments below. I'm excited for the next episode, really the next 2 episodes, so we can find out what's really going on with this crew, with At-Aten, with At-Akron and all of it. It's a really high standard to live up to wrap this all up in the next 2 episodes, but I'm hoping it can happen. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Remember, the Force will be with you always.